So as I look through my list of things I have to talk about, how could I possibly forget the scorching mile of cruising in style? Hey, the scorching mile of cruising in style last week. You know, I was pretty clear that we needed to bring this horse now, this 4-year-old, along easily. Let him wean his way up into this speed he's going to see down in the States, and then bring him down. And there was some, I don't want to say friction, but there was some concerns and questions from the group as, you know, are we going to continue to race him in Toronto in these classes? I think we could have sent him down 1 week earlier, but we didn't. But I think it all worked out well. Cruising in style flexed his muscle the other day. Just a drawing off winner at 53-2 at the Poconos, and looked rather impressive doing it. I had him written down to talk about. I skipped over it somehow. I just got a million things to talk about. And obviously I didn't go with him, so it was out of my mind. But it definitely shouldn't have been out of my mouth. Cruising in style raced unbelievably well last week. You know, the horses that are on the improve, not just good, but on the improve. Cruising in style tops the list. Hopefully we can add White Tiger to that next week. Globetrotting was unbelievable the other day. Compass Rose DC was good. Don't Believe Me, Just Watch has been awesome. Capistrano's still undefeated. Just so many good things going on right now. We're having a summer we hoped. In fact, having a summer even more than I hoped we would. A few little hiccups. You probably should keep an eye on your GPS if you're driving. Here, it's telling you to go somewhere here. Right here. Okay, so stay on there then. Anyway, my co-pilot's getting us lost, apparently, but that's all right. We can find our way back on the road. We did a few hiccups this summer with, obviously, Knockdown Dragout hasn't produced the glamorous things we wanted her to. It's not that she's been bad. I've been taking a lot of criticism that it's my fault, which I disagree with, but nevertheless, I'm okay with it. That's how it goes in horse racing, right? People have expectations, and when they aren't met, they get upset. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's everybody's money, and they have a reason to be upset if they don't reach their expectations. But you know, that's what this communication's for. And at the end of the day, all the horses in the burn, we made the decision we're going to move Years If You Want It to Ken Holiday after the next Buckeye race in Urbana, which is fine with Jason. It's fine with me. We want to make sure that no stone goes unturned as far as any of the other fillies, whether it be Knockdown Dragout or the race from Spend That Money the other night. We're obviously going to have people questioning either the direction the horse is going in or the direction of the horse in that night or how I drove the horse. But this is the job, right? I got broad shoulders, so does Jason, and other clients do, or other trainers do. And I think we're going to continue to do what's best for the horses. And I suspect at the end of the day, everybody recognizes that I'm not always going to be right. Neither is Jason, neither are you. But, you know, having people you trust at the helm of your ship is important. And I hope that by now we've garnered at least the trust from the vast majority of our clients. So, Big Cruiser was great. Globetrotting was great. We're having a lot of fun here in Pennsylvania, Ohio. We're having some luck in Ontario. I had some people saying, geez, why isn't Miss Brampton Beast as good as she should be? Is it Mario's fault? Come on. It's a filly with 3 lifetime starts. And, you know, I don't think that you look at Capistrano, she's built for high speeds right now. Miss Brampton Beast is a big, gangly filly. I can tell you Tuesday after Tuesday what she's going to be capable of, but there's no need to jump the gun or get too concerned just yet with Miss Brampton Beast. Trafalgar will be coming back from her injury, I hope. In 3 weeks, we had a green light to start training her, in which case she'll be back. What's that? She's swimming, yeah, absolutely. And need your opinion, fighting some allergies and some issues. We expect she's going to bounce back well also. Going to drop her down in the grassroots, much like we're talking about Ailsun. This up and down isn't just to Ohio, Pennsylvania, or Ontario. It's everywhere. We need to find the proper place to move the horses, and it's always a very fluid conversation, a very fluid motion that the stable's constantly in. It's always in a state of flux. And I believe whether it's Ale Sun potentially heading to the Buckeye, or Need Your Opinion heading down to the grassroots for hopefully a start or two, or potentially, we didn't talk about this, but Harness AM might be going to Kentucky to race in Kentucky. The reason being, brought to my attention by one of our clients, Paul, today. Last week, I wouldn't have agreed. This week, I do. There's some real sharks in Pennsylvania. Do we really want to be in the thick of things with Harness AM? She bled a little bit last week. We're going to enter her into the LASEX program. There's LASEX in Kentucky and in Pennsylvania. Where's she better off? So what we're going to do is watch the first elimination go in Kentucky this Thursday, because we couldn't possibly race her back after bleeding. That would be unfair to the horse. We're going to watch the first elimination. We're going to sit back and judge. Do we need to be in Kentucky or Pennsylvania? Be one or the other. Can't be both. So last week, my answer to that was, 10 days ago, my answer to that was Pennsylvania. Now looking at Sister Sledge and all those other really strong, fast fillies in Pennsylvania, I think maybe it's worth a look again. Maybe we should revisit this and talk about Kentucky, and that's what we're going to do. We have a lot of horses that are going to be rounding out their stake season. Spirit of Dio's got another leg in a final of the, what's that called? The Pure Ivory. And then after that, we have the Peaceful Way. Hopefully she's up to that. That will be the Bearcats in town also. So still a ton going on. Always remember, please always remember, the horses don't drop dead December 31st. We have these horses, so we're not only trying to manage and navigate 2019, we're trying to put together a great start. Don't you fall. A great start to 2020. And an old horseman said this to me a long time ago. I think I understood it, but I understand it much more now than before. You get back what you put out. So you turn a lame, tired horse out, you might get a lame, tired horse back. Now, sure, there's deviations from that. There's an exception to every rule. But for the most part, we want to make sure we put these horses out sharp, feeling good, and ready to mature in the field. We did that with Emerald Miss. We'll see how that plays out. We're going to do that with Dio. She's only got 4 or 5 starts left. Just need to make sure we manage our horses better moving forward. So, in regards to Need Your Opinion dropping down, Ale Sun dropping down, these are important things. I'll be able to answer more questions about Miss Brampton Beast when I get a real good look at her on Tuesday. Antarctic Force. But keep in mind, we're always moving. We're always changing if we have to. Maybe a diaper, too. But we always have to be on our toes. So that was 2 parts of the opening. First part, I admitted a glaring omission on my part was Cruising in Style, probably one of the best miles of the week for the stable.ca. My apologies to the owners. Pretty hard to miss that. And I did. Yeah, Cruising in Style was great, and we're hoping to have a bunch of other horses supporting cast of the stable.ca start firing in the near future also. Be back in a minute with all the burns, all the babies, and a top 10 list.